Hi, Makayla. Thanks for opting into the video critique. I just pulled your design up here, and the first thing I noticed is I really like your color scheme. The gray with this light green, the white popping off the page, purple in the flowers looks really nice. Um, and this is it's off-centered, but it is center aligned, but it works really well. This is a good example of using center alignment in a non-traditional way because you have everything overlapping. The colors are working well. There's a multiplicity of colors, of font type, and so overall it's really effective. Where it gets a little bit messy is down here in this left-hand corner. Um, I think maybe there's too much content here because you already have your title, you have your pull quote. This has words on it. If it was me, I'd probably be inclined to actually just get rid of this altogether and let your title speak for itself. Let your pull quote speak for itself and your image. Okay, you're going to have plenty of room in the next 2 pages to have all this body copy. So I think you'd have a much stronger design if you just kind of let these elements speak for themselves. Okay, and then these next pages is where you can have most of your content. If you don't get all of it onto the page, it's okay. You have a little bit of room down here that maybe you could fit an extra paragraph or two, but I would just add in that continued on page, 29 or whatever. And then you can pull down this column. This is getting a little weird up here on top with all these hyphens. You never want to have words kind of floating like this. Instead, I'd probably just start your column down here. And you're doing a text wrap, but I think because the shape is so crazy, it's not going to be legible. So we always want to avoid that. All right, so I just probably start the column down here after this image. Be sure to turn off your hyphens in your paragraph palette. You always want to do that for any kind of professional design. I really like the colors you've selected. They're looking really nice. You could try justifying your columns. I think that might help your design look even more contemporary than it does right now. That'll have a nice crisp edge on the right side as well as the left side. And let me show you InDesign Justify. Okay, so you could just do how to justify text in InDesign, and it's going to show you a few different options. It's going to take it from this with the ragged edge to a nice, crisp, solid edge over here. I'm trying to show you what the little button looks like. Let me. Boop, boop. Where's. Okay, so it's going to look a little bit like these. Here we go. Okay, you're going to select one like this. It's going to have left and right straight, but then the very bottom line isn't going to go all the way over. You're not going to select this one because then it's going to stretch your last word of the column so it fills in all that space. And there are a few different options you can play around with in terms of some of the word spacing, minimum and maximum amount that it can be spaced out. But I think that would help it look even better. It already looks good, but I think that'll take it to the next level. Okay. You have 4 images, this one, and then I'm assuming you're supposed to take 2 of them yourself. I'm guessing you didn't, I'm assuming this is you, didn't take this one yourself. I'm guessing you didn't take this one yourself either, unless it's a selfie that you timer or something. So I'm assuming you did take this one. So I would like to see maybe one of these 3 images larger, and then tell me which one you took. Maybe this one with a timer or something. Just tell me in your draft report so I can be sure to give you credit for taking 2 yourself. Okay, but I would think I would like to see one of your images bigger. And then that will kind of help you have a little bit more of a focal point on the page, okay? Because right now there is a lot going on. There's not a lot of white space. Take a look at some of these examples. See the amount of white space between the edge of the page and where the column starts. or the amount of space in between your gutter here. Look how wide that gutter is, okay? So your eye really has a chance to kind of flow around these different elements. That's one of the things we want in your design too. You've done a good job from top to bottom right here. Maybe a little bit bigger here in the middle, maybe a little bit larger image, maybe your columns end a little bit more off the off the bottom of the page or something along that line, so your eye can flow a little bit more. So your pull quotes are looking good. I wonder if maybe you have too many fonts. This feels like a different font than this one. And then you have a sans serif, a serif. This is probably the same as this. So I think I'm counting maybe 4 fonts right now. Usually for any document you want to stick to 2. If you're feeling super brave, stick to 3. But I'd probably have this be the same font as this one at the very least. Okay. So really you're off to a great start. Loving your color scheme. Just give yourself something to really focus on this page. This image is feeling disconnected from the whole rest of the page because your column is ending up so high up here. So instead, just let the words wrap around whatever your image is and then end with a continued on page, whatever. Make an image or 2 larger so you really have one thing your eye lands on when you look at this page first. Right now, my eye is bouncing from this to this to this, looking at the weird white space back. So try to figure out that one thing for each of these pages that your eye is going to go to. Here it's this and then that. So that's good. This, it's for sure this really strong title and then these flowers. Okay. So play around with that a little bit more. Make sure every page has a strong focal point and increase of white space. All right. So you're off to a really good start. I can tell by the time you get done with this, it's going to look awesome. All right. Thanks, Makayla. Thanks for opting in. Bye.